saw a repeat of practice when the prancing horse dominated. But it wasn't to be. The best Michael Schumacher could manage was third place on the grid.
Third position, the gap is not as big as it was in Argentina or in Melbourne. So, as Jack said in the beginning, we're going to have probably a more closer race than before.
The Williams drivers incurred the wrath of officials, both receiving suspended one-week bans for going too fast under a yellow flag. It wasn't enough to slow Jacques Villeneuve, who grabbed his fourth successive pole position.
We have a very strong race setup, but you know, we thought that last weekend, and it turned out that it wasn't so strong in the race. So we'll have to wait and see how the conditions change. And with the soft tires now, the track changes during the race.
His teammate Heinz-Harald Frentzen pushed the Canadian all the way, just 0.3 of a second slower. In fourth place is Frenchman Olivier Panis in the constantly improving Prost. Damon Hill's horror run continues once again. He was stranded on the track with a broken arrows. While David Coulthard qualified 10th in the spare McLaren after this spectacular high-speed exit in the morning.
Well, the old familiar front row there of Villeneuve and Frentzen bringing back the status quo. Michael Schumacher third, Oliver Panis, good fourth position for him. He's Schumacher's brother is in fifth alongside Fisichella, his teammate, in sixth position. Johnny Herbert, Häkkinen, Eddie Irvine and the other Ferrari ninth. David Coulthard, Gerhard Berger, Nicola Rini in 12th. Barrichello 13th, Alesi down in 14th in front of Damon Hill, Jan Magnussen, Denez, Nakano, Mika Salo, Trulli, Verstappen, and Katayama brings up 22nd spot.
That man Villeneuve has thrown a cat amongst the pigeons again by saying that he thinks that the Formula One new rules, the safety rules that are being brought into force, are going to ruin the sport. He said it'll be like driving a Formula Ford, and I may go back to IndyCars.
Well, at the end of the day, I think that's great because, I mean, he says what he thinks and so he ought to. I mean, he's the guy that's actually racing these cars. He speaks from the heart. That's what he feels. Great, say it.
And Bernie Eccleston, not long after that, imposed a fine on him.
Yeah, that could be a little message for him, I think.
Also, a little sad, Nicky Lauda, although he's okay, has had a kidney transplant and it was donated by his brother.
Yeah, wonderful, isn't it? I mean, he's no stranger to the knife, Nicky. He's been under it for quite a long time on many occasions. So let's hope that all turns out very well for him.
Yeah, and I was saying it really wasn't anything to do with that horror shunt that he had. Also, Adrian Newey has signed with McLaren and will start shortly with them.
Well, he signed with them quite a while ago. In fact, there's been a little bit of a thing going on between Williams and Adrian and McLaren. But I think now Williams have just said, oh, look, if that's the way you want it, just go ahead and do it.
All right, well, the news, I think, so exciting this, and we had the chance to drive one of these cars throughout the week, and you'll see more about that. But you may never get behind the wheel of a Formula One racer, but how would you like to be driving the brand new Porsche Boxster, valued at $115,000? Now, this fabulous car, including the on-road costs, could be yours.
He's got his opportunity to really show it.
And Schumacher pinched his lady, too.
Married his girlfriend. Got into Formula One before him, so okay, now, you know, Frentzen can have a chance to get back.
You'd have to be a bit dirty. All right, let's recap the results for you.
Well, there you go. Frentzen over Schumacher. Eddie Irvine third in the Ferrari. Fisichella, good result for him. First time in the points for him. John Alesi in the Benetton from way down in 13th starting position. And Mika Häkkinen bringing up the 6th place position for McLaren Mercedes. The championship now, Villeneuve 20 from Schumacher. Coulthard, look at that, over Frentzen, Irvine, all equal, and Berger.
They're pretty amazing stats.
Williams Renault, as per usual, leading the Constructors' Championship from Ferrari, McLaren third, Benetton fourth, Jordan fifth, and Prost Mugen in sixth.
Well, we've just seen the champagne being sprayed. Let's have a listen to what they've said after the race. So this will be a pretty nervy time, I think, for Frentzen.
Yes, I'm very happy. After this difficult start in this season, it is very much like oil on my soul.
Can you tell us about the first pit stop? Because when you went into the pits there, you were in third position. When you came out, you were leading the race. Can you explain that at all?
Well, I thought I was scheduled to come into the pits after Jack, before Jack anyway. And I saw Michael going into pits, and I saw Jack going in front of me into the pits as well. So in this moment, it was my time to push, to do 2 quick lap times before I go into the pits, because I could gain some time there. I was concerned about some traffic, but it was just all right. The pit stop was also very quick. And when I came out of the pit and I saw P1, I was absolutely happy that, and surprised as well that I was on the lead now.
Once you're ahead of Michael, towards the end of the race, he seems to be catching up a bit. Were you worried about that or not really?
Yeah, we had a good conversation through the radio. I was concerned about the brakes. I didn't want to happen again what happened in Melbourne. And I asked for saving brakes. And the pit crew told me that Michael is pushing quite hard in the end. And I had to push as well. I couldn't really save the brakes as much as I would have done. But anyway, I tried to save more brakes at the end, and I was only concerned about the rain, that it could fall from the sky all in a sudden, and that would have made the situation a bit more difficult.
Heinz-Harald, well done. Michael, second here last year, second today, a good victory for you. Did your race go as expected?
I would say yes. I mean, the setup was fantastic. The car was working fairly well. Obviously, it was a little bit of a mixture in setup of the rain condition, which might would have happened, but I was basically happy. Second position was a little bit more than I was expecting. I was expecting actually a third position. I was hoping to go in between the 2 Williams, which finally happened. I could have done a little bit better if before my second pit stop wouldn't have had this traffic issue with Larini, who was probably looking in his mirror and driving suddenly very slow, and I locked up my front right tire, flat spotted it, and I had to come in, so I couldn't follow my plan, which it's the question mark whether it would have changed the situation, to be honest, because the first pit stop was the crucial one. There we lost out just this bit where Heinz-Harald slipped in front of me, and from there on the race was actually decided. He did a great race.
Looking much more competitive in this race. Did you feel more confident in the car than the last race?
Which last race? I mean, it lost back in Brazil. Actually, and the race condition, we seem to be not that far off compared to qualifying condition, and we obviously the only team who at least can go almost the speed as the Williams, which makes me quite happy because there should come certain changes into our car soon, I hope, obviously, which may give us the step we're looking for.
Michael, well done. Eddie, you were third in the last race and second today. Was it hard for you out there today?
The other way around, but close. No, it was hard to start with. I had a big battle with Hannes. And he was a bit quicker than me to start, but I thought I'll just save my tyres and then have a go at him later on because I had a lot of fuel on board, so I could do a long first stint. And then he started coming back to me and I started pushing harder, and eventually I overtook him, and then we went into the pit stops. Some people were doing 1 and some people were doing 2. Had a bit of a dice with Coulthard just as his engine blew up. And then it was really with Fisichella, who I knew I had a good idea, I had more fuel on him, so I could go longer in the second stint, and I was able to overtake him in the pits, and then it was basically quite boring really, just plodding along to the finish. I had a bit of a gear change problem, but I'm very pleased with third, obviously, after yesterday's problems.
Eddie, well done. Heinz-Harald, we now go to Monaco, and you're only 10 points behind your teammate. What are your feelings going to the Monaco circuit?
Well, first thing is I'm quite happy with the situation right now. I feel the car very good. We made some good changes to the car, which does fit perfectly, or not perfectly yet, but it's coming into this direction. And I'm quite confident that I'll be there soon. Yeah.
He looks absolutely exhausted, really. I think mentally he's just drained.
Well, I think if you had Michael Schumacher up your backside for an hour and a half, you wouldn't be relaxing very much. But, I mean, he drove a good race. He didn't put a foot wrong, really. And to have that sort of pressure of Schumacher behind you, he would be mentally drained. He won't be doing much tomorrow, I don't think.
Obviously, Williams still have some problems. Villeneuve with his gearbox problems, and he was still worried about the brakes.
Well, Williams have a bit of an Achilles heel with the gearbox. That seems to be one of their weak points. They are making real progress with the brakes, but I think they still have a few problems there. But, you know, I think a lot of teams would love to have the problems Williams have got.
Oh,